I'm newly single and I turned 34 this summer. And when am I supposed to be having kids? Because I don't want a teen pregnancy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm absolutely still a child bride. Like, what do you, like, I still call my mom all the time. Like, what am I, which side of the letter does the postage go on? Do you know what I mean? I've raised my dog. I've had him for 10 years. He's doing great. He's going to college next semester. But getting pregnant now, I'm 33. I think once I turn 40, I'll be 30. Do you know what I'm saying? Teen pregnancy currently, 40 will be like, I'll be 30. And I'll be like, I'm ready. But isn't that just silly how biology hasn't caught up in that way? Because what are we doing? Because here's the thing, I'm an only child. So I really think I would like one, because I think I'll be old one day and be like, oh, I regret not doing that. But being teen pregnancy just like wasn't in my future.
The way some of these ladies continue to infantilize themselves is beyond my comprehension.
Look, normally I would get what you are saying here, but I could not disagree anymore with you in this specific instance. Obviously, I do not know this man personally. This is just going based off of what he has chosen to post on the internet. But most critical, he exceeds the standards here. First off, that is a classically handsome man. He is very clean. He is very funny. He is college educated. He has multiple successful businesses. He is a multimillionaire. He is very quick-witted. He has a bustling social life. He has plenty of hobbies. He is a musician. He has fantastic hair. He has really cool tattoos. And people are really out here saying like, oh, your standards are in hell. What is it? Because he's short? Who cares?
So if a man is too short and you don't like whatever he's doing, then the bar is low and the standards are in hell. But if a man should say, what's your body count? All of a sudden he's insecure and his standards are too high.
I was watching this man's story and he posted a young lady who swiped up on his story and said, I can't wait to sit on your face. And they had no previous conversations. That was her way of shooting her shot. That's not good. That's a 0 out of 10. I didn't like that. Ladies, no. Because I'm like, suppose I swipe on my story saying, oh, I can't wait for you to ... I'm gonna curse him out.
What is happening to the world? First, it was the milkmaids in the club. Now we're doing like Gilead, Fashion Week. And now it is summer 2025. Skinny talk is taking over, and the girls are wearing tankinis. I'm not a fan of whatever direction we're going in. I don't know who needs to save us, but tankinis, you are going too far to the right when it comes to conservatism. Just come back. Reel it back in. A tankini at 120 pounds, at 23 years old. Girl, if you don't put a thongkini on, and this generation is hooked.
And here we go again, shaming women for wearing clothes. It's crazy work. It's not that they're wearing these clothes, it's because they're going towards conservatism. Whatever they're going towards, they need to put some clothes on. Period. Get off the internet.
Sitting at a stoplight thinking how men will just never know what it feels like to pull a long piece of hair out of their butt crack.
So I probably check my Hinge like every 2 to 3 days. It's always at night, like when I'm just chilling. I go on and I had 72 likes. And I liked 2 people back. 2. I just don't know when men became ugly. And I'm being so honest because the things that were on my screen is actually horrid. You guys look like creatures, little thumbs running around town. Like, I'm terrified that you even... Never mind. I'm being rude. But, like, either way, that was crazy. 72 people? And only 2 of them? Oh my god.
And this is why a lot of these ladies can't find anybody. They refuse to do the hard work of finding somebody with like values. The man has already extended himself and said, I like you. Now you have to go through your likes and say, who's compatible with me? But of course, you would just rather get on here and trash men. Are you looking through a catalog or are you trying to find a partner? Delete this video.
This is my hot take. If you spend money on a big old wedding, you are the dumbest person I know.
You're really dumb.
I really have to say it. And all my love to you. I wish you the most successful, happy marriage. I love so much, and I want to actually see marriages succeed. But if you spend so much money on a grand wedding for the sake of validation and for people to be like, oh my God, look at that wedding, you are actually stupid, and I cannot converse with you.
The way men are no longer begging is not sitting right with me. I'm having to go back to Donnell Jones's 1999 album to hear some real freaked out begging and crying. Where are the real yearners? Where are the real R&B yearners at?
They always want a man to beg. Oh, I don't want you, but I just want you to want me.
I'm currently 34 minutes late to a first date because I'm from the country, and so a mile away parking garage for some reason sounded like a good idea to me. I was thinking a country mile, not a city mile, and I'm 35 minutes into my walk. Like, I got here on time, but hopefully he doesn't hate me, because honestly, I do this kind of shit all the time. Story of my life is walking somewhere. The nervous run through the middle of the street, so I don't anger local drivers. But anyways, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry. I am an idiot. I really don't mean to be late. And I did tell you I was walking. I didn't tell you I parked a mile away. So
the point is, I have a question, because I am like a very friendly girl, but I want to know, when y'all see a guy out like at a bar or a club that you think is cute, or like, you know what I'm saying, you think he gave you a little at or whatever, what do you do? Me, I just like blink a lot and hope they notice me. But like, do you say something? Do you wait for them to say something to you? Do you just like hope they say something, they don't say nothing, then it's just like, you know, whatever, I'm gonna, you know, try to go to the bathroom, walk past them? Like, what happens? Because I don't know. I'm a pretty girl.
Women need to be more approachable. If you're a woman and you're wondering why men don't approach women no more, it's because a lot of women either realize it and don't care, or they don't realize that they have very strong closed energy. What I mean by that is, a lot of you have a resting face. A lot of you look very unfriendly and unwelcoming and unapproachable because you look really mean. And a lot of men just want mutual interest. They just don't want to approach women that just don't look friendly. Why would a man want to risk a negative encounter or approaching a woman that's going to be like, ew, get out my face, or, you know, make you feel like you're harassing them? Like, men don't want to deal with that. Like, men just want to approach women that are nice and like friendly and welcoming. And most women, you know, they give off a face and an energy that's just not welcoming and friendly.
Literally counterintuitive to come up to somebody that does not look approachable. And y'all are going to carry that energy and wonder why men do not want to be bothered with y'all ever at all. Well, I don't want a man to approach, I want to be single. You know, that energy carries outside of relationships too, right? It carries to men not helping you because you're not approachable. Well, why can't you help me this time? Because you're not approachable. You are not an approachable person in general. I wouldn't come up to you to date you. I wouldn't come up to you to help you. I wouldn't come up to ask for directions. I wouldn't come up for anything because you're not approachable.
So we're living in a world right now where men want to approach women but are confused because there are a group of women who want men to approach them politely, as a gentleman, introduce themselves. But then there's this other whacked out contingency of women who would literally scream at men in public if a man just politely came over and said hi. So because men have seen this all over the internet, these videos of women publicly humiliating men who are doing really nothing other than just coming over and saying hi, they are not coming up to anybody. So this is why women who want men to approach them in the wild are wondering, why aren't men coming over to me anymore? Like, what's going on? So what I encourage people to do is just always have an open energy. You want to be smiling, you want to be open and friendly and positive, magnetic.
So I think it was around last year that I made a TikTok asking the question, why are attractive men too afraid to approach women? It doesn't make sense. You're attractive. What's the problem? Honestly, very messy of me to ask that question, because In this day and age, it's just not appropriate, right? Nobody wants to be cold approached anymore. But also, how do you define attractiveness? And so I think the conversations that we had around that video of mine were great. And I think the general consensus was it's about time and place, right? Most people don't want to make women uncomfortable because we're in a very dangerous time for women. So it's just better to not approach.
It's about time and place, and attractiveness for a lot of these ladies, and how much money you have in your bank account for a lot of these women.
I have a question. Whatever happened to the 4B movement? Remember all the women who were shaving their heads off after Donald Trump got elected and said they wasn't going to have sex with men anymore? How they doing? Are they staying strong, you know? Are they keeping their legs closed, or was they lying just full of fluff? I just want to know. Anybody have an update? Anybody know how their movement is doing? Just a quick progress report update.
So I asked this girl what was she gonna do for her husband for Father's Day, and she said, "Oh, I booked a trip for Disney." So I'm assuming like, oh, maybe her husband loves Disney too, right? Because I know she does. And I asked her, I was like, "Oh, your husband really likes Disney?" And she's like, "No, he doesn't. He hates it, but we're going." So I was like, "So you're taking your husband to Disneyland on Father's Day, even though he hates it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just thought it's something fun for us to do, with the kids, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "What?" So then I asked her, "What did you do for Mother's Day?" And she said, "Oh, we went to Disney too." And I started laughing because I was like, "Girl, I see what you're doing." And she just started laughing. And I was like, "So you're just trying to make it about you? Like, you already had your fee and you went to Disney. And now you want to make his day about you too? Like," and then I asked her, "What does he like to do? Like, is there anything?" He's like, "No, he's boring. He just likes to go fish and he likes to ride bikes and that's all he does." And I was like, "Well, why don't you guys do that? It seems fun, actually." I was like, "Maybe you guys could go like camping, like find something nice to do." She's like, "Oh, no, I hate that. Hell no, I don't like to do none of that. We're going to Disney and that's it."
The way that y'all overdo this word sassy is absolutely insane.
Like, just because a man has boundaries does not make him sassy. Just because a man is able to articulate how he feels does not make him sassy. Just because this man actually keeps up with himself, his self-care, skincare, nails, all of that does not make him sassy. Just because a man wants someone to put in the same amount of effort as they are into relationships, that does not make them sassy. And women are always calling men sassy or throwing out that word that they play for the other team. Like, it's actually crazy. If a man talks about his feelings, y'all sit there and like, oh, he's being sassy or whatever. He needs to do this, he needs to do that. No, it is okay to talk about your feelings as a man. And then any person that speaks up that's a female, y'all want to call them a pick me. No, it's that I have common sense and I have sympathy because I can understand. Men have it hard. Women, y'all just want your handouts. Just stop it. And this is not all women, okay? Not every single woman is doing this. But a majority of the time, anytime I see comments or videos about men, it's always, oh, he's sassy, he blocked me, he this, he's that. No, he's protecting his peace as he did.
Dude, being a girl on Hinge is a different level. I matched with this girl during the Eastern Conference Finals. We matched because she said she's looking for someone who likes the Knicks. Immediately, we start talking about the Knicks, and she says, wouldn't it be a fun first date to go to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals? And I was like, that would be a fun date. Do you have tickets? And she was like, no, but they're not that expensive. They were $700 each. But we ended up still talking. And then after the Knicks lost in Game 6, I talked to her again. And she said that she went on 3 separate dates. She went to every home game during the Eastern Conference Finals with 3 separate guys. I mean, that is crazy work. You cannot tell me that women have it harder than dudes out here in the dating world.
It genuinely needs to be studied why we want men who simply just don't want us. I mean, they might want us, but they treat us like why? Why? Everyone keeps asking me how my recent date went, and it went good. I liked the guy. He was so sweet. But it doesn't compare to the energy and what I thought I had with the guest that I was talking to right before him. Like, what is wrong with me? What, like, he's an actual like a loser. A loser. Because he's mean. He was mean to me. So like, why not go for the nice guy? Why not go for the nice guy? I'm gonna hang out with him again, but like, what the is wrong with me?
So you're telling me the nigga I want really don't want me, but the nigga want me, I don't want. But I can get anything I want.
I deserve better, and I will find better. And if I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life, then I'll be alone for the rest of my life.
Okay, this is the first time that you're choosing yourself and you are walking away. It is 1 a.m. in Miami and it is swim week, and the people you were with didn't treat you right. So instead of staying in a situation that no longer serves you, you are going to walk away, even when it feels uncomfortable and scary and not okay. But because you know your worth and you want to show yourself how much that you mean. So I am gonna go stay with somebody random and that you met a couple days ago, but seems to have your back more than somebody who's known you for an entire year. So we are choosing ourselves.
You know, if I were to be honest with you, you don't have to announce to the world what you're doing. You can just do it.
Every first date that I go on, the man always says, so I was on a date with this girl, and I have to jump in with, oh, you date children? Watching his response is a great litmus test, because he's either going to be really offended that I just compared him to or he is going to change his language immediately because he realizes that a 41 to 50-year-old man calling his similarly aged dates girls is creepy.
A woman in the comments said, do we, women, not call each other girls all the time? You do, but when they want to try to act stupid, then this is what they say.
A lot of men have mental burdens that women don't know anything about, and they're never going to tell you. And it could be something so deep, and you'll never know about it. I know he has things that he will never tell me. I know that. I'm very aware of that, and I'm okay with that. But he knows he could tell me these things. Going back on men's mental health, women always talk about having a mental burden. Like, yes, we always do. We do these things daily. But think about the things that these men are dealing with on a daily basis. They have to stay alive. There are a lot of things that happen. Like, I'll go to Zach's job site, and it is like the most sketchy I've ever seen. I'll drive up, and he's sitting on top of an excavator on top of a pile of something, and I don't want to see that. That's a mental burden I couldn't deal with, like, at all. I'd be freaking There's no way.
If you think you live somewhere where we should move because we all want husbands that are actually good men, please comment a good state and city, zip code, all the info on where we should be.
I feel like genuinely nobody speaks about the hardships of not being a, because I got morals. I want some, but I'm not gonna get some because I can't just be busting it open like that. But I need this bust open. I'm talking about bust open. But I got morals and respect, so I can't do that to myself because I can't just be giving it up to any and everybody like this. That wham. But damn.
As a woman, what in the actual hell goes through your mind when you see a man who lives with his girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever the hell they are, and they're either pregnant or just had a baby? What goes through your rotten head thinking, oh yeah, let me go sleep with that man, or let me go try to date him? What and why the hell? And then go on to brag about it. I'm sorry, but that's just gross and that's trashy. And I get it that you don't owe the girl anything and that the man is supposed to, whatever, turn you down. But girl, just wait till it happens to you. It's karma's a bee.
Sydney Sweeney selling her bathwater in bars of soap to men that are experiencing the male loneliness epidemic was not in my cards in 2025. And before you get your toddy whities in a damn bunch, it's being sold by Sasquatch, which is a male-owned soap brand that is made for men. Last time, I don't know if they make products for women, but last time I checked, they were a male-based soap line. Consumerism got into the point where a celebrity can literally go sit her ass cheeks in some water. A company will pay for said water, drop that water into 5,000 bars, sell it, and y'all actually buy it. The loneliness for y'all gotten that bad that y'all want to feel so connected to a woman that you're willing to buy her dirty ass cheek water or clean ass cheek water. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's still ass cheek water that they're putting in the soap that you need to use to clean your body. And if anything, that just goes to show you that they know who the hell their baseline is. That they can sell ass cheek water and say, oh, you can take a bath with Sydney Sweeney and rub this all over your face and balls. The male loneliness epidemic is going to drive consumerism.
I had another response prepared, but somebody in the comments was like, y'all pay $1,500 to go see Chris Brown. Period. Weird stuff. $1,500 for a man you don't know. Just to get a hug. A hug for $1,500. Cut it out.
I just moved to New York. I'm trying to meet people. I went to this dinner party the other night and I told this guy who was in tech, I was like, oh, I do like social media. And he's like, oh, do you like go on dates and talk about them online? And I was like, no, just out of respect for the man. I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to do that. I feel like maybe that would like rub people the wrong way. And he's like, but if the dates go good, it shouldn't rub people the wrong way. And if people act correct, it shouldn't rub them the right way. And I was like, sir, you're right. You're onto something. He's like, yeah, you should talk about them. And he's like, and if someone is embarrassed by how they acted, that's on them, not on what you're saying. And I was like, I like that. Later, this man proceeds to text me, so when am I taking you out so you can make a video about me? Bold as I respect that. I really do. I'm just like, oh wow, you want me to talk about you online because you wanna put on a show for the people. And I'm here for it.
Be safe out there, sis. Hope this man doesn't dog you out. Some things you should probably keep off the internet.
Today I literally watched a man with his girlfriend walk down the street, broad daylight, in the middle of families playing around them, while we are sitting outside eating food. This man, you know, initially he's like putting his head into his girlfriend's neck, like being weird. It was, at first I was like, okay, this is weird, but like nothing crazy. People do this all the time, like that's nothing insane. They continue to walk down the sidewalk. And I do not. This man starts honking her ass. I'm like, are you guys 15? Is this your first relation? What is going on? He continues to honk her ass. I said to my mom, I was like, this couple is so weird. 2 minutes go by after the honking, and he turns around, gives me a little look, turns back around, proceeds to stick his hand down her pants in broad daylight. From the back, of course, because he wants to squeeze her butt a little more. He honks it a few times, takes the hand out, swipes his hand up her ass crack as if his hands were a credit card. And he just kept it there in the crack. And at that point I was like, I think I need to stop watching. I think I shouldn't be allowed to see this. And let me preface, we are in broad daylight. There are children behind me playing with their families. And then after, he just gave her a little
on the other cheek, you know, to give that one some attention.
I mean, he might have overdone it, obviously, but y'all continue to tell men that y'all want somebody that's obsessed. If he's not obsessed, then y'all don't want it.
Okay, so it's come to my attention that some of the ladies just don't know how to date. Like, y'all don't know how to date, okay? I am wearing brand new diamond earrings, a gold and silver necklace that was given to me by a man that I met last week. Gifted to me by a man last week. Okay, this man happened to see me out at brunch, happened to pay for all the girls' drinks and then our meal, and very confidently in front of 3 very good friends of mine, he proceeds to ask me out. I said yes. I said yes. Of course I said yes. And now I have a man who's obsessed with me. And I can do whatever I want. I could tell him whatever I want. I could tell him to jump high. I could tell him to jump off the building. He would do it. He'd do it. You think I'm gonna take a mediocre man? You think I'm gonna take a mama's boy? You think I'm gonna take a man with daddy issues? You think I'm gonna take a man that will impregnate me and leave me? Absolutely not. I want a provider, okay? And I date the provider. Like, all of my girlfriends are like shocked that I'm even like kind of entertaining this guy, or that I kind of like him, because they're like, girl, you're like the pickiest one out of all of us. I know. But now you see why I have such high standards. Now you see why. Yeah. Cause ain't no Dusty gonna get me. I need to be taken care of. Okay? If there's anything I've watched my mom and her sisters be like, it's crazy. If there's anything I've learned from both my dads, my godfather, and other father figures I have in my life, is that I should be spoiled. Because they all spoil me. So, yeah, no, like, I just be watching so many TikToks, and, you know, everybody's talking about the Wizard Liz, and I love her to death. I love her to death. But she still got with a man that's got a lot of money. Even if she's not with him, I respect that. But she chose her man carefully, okay? He might have fooled her, but financially that man can provide for that child forever. Forever. She could go after him for every penny of that child. Okay, you think I'm gonna get pregnant by some Dusty? The fat.
And there were women in the comments saying, who's going to tell her? Nobody's going to tell her. Because when women like this get into a certain mindset, thinking that they're better than everyone, there's nothing that you can do about it. They're just going to have to crash and burn with the foolishness they got going on. These women, some of these women get out here and start playing a dangerous game and wondering why these men take advantage of them.
So many of you guys so often comment on my videos saying that the only man that you could ever trust is this man right here, Russell Hartley. And let me just say, if that's really how you feel, you are probably the easiest woman to play in history. You are going to get played by so many men. You are not learning apparently. If you're believing anything that this grifter says, you should not be dating, because you need to tighten up a little bit, because you're going to get played. I think it's so interesting and ironic that men can say the same exact thing that so many women are saying, and more women will be excited about it coming out of his mouth than out of the dozens of women's mouths that are saying the same thing. This guy is a grifter. He figured out his content used to be totally different. He used to run a spicy fan's house. Okay? If you live in LA, then you know this. He was throwing anything he could at the wall, and just seeing what would stick to get clout. That's what he was doing. And he figured out that by saying what women want to hear and wearing an ill-fitting suit, he could get that clout. He's making hundreds of dollars off of your naivety and off of duping you. You have to wake up to this. You should not trust any man who comes on Beyonce's internet and is like, men should pay for everything. Yeah, no, they know that's not a hard thing to figure out. Okay? Like that, they know that by saying that they're going to get clout from it. You should not trust any man who comes on Beyonce's internet and does like couples content. because that is also a man who's trying to get clout off of his girlfriend. These men are swimming in money and they're swimming in women because you guys put them on a pedestal and gave them a platform off of them pandering to you and grifting off of this movement. The only men that you should be listening to or giving any kind of flowers to are the men who are talking about the actual systemic inequality that women experience. The men who are calling out rapists, the men who are calling out abusers, the men who are talking to other men and having difficult conversations and trying to talk to these red pill men about what women experience. Not men who are like, you should never have to pay for your dinners, ladies. That's the easiest thing to do to get likes and clicks. The only men that are worth giving flowers to are the men who are talking to other men about and having uncomfortable, difficult conversations. Those are the only men that deserve any kind of flowers from us. We don't need any men to talk to us about men. We already know.
You know, I'll agree with her that this Russell Hartley guy is a grifter, but you got to understand that these women want to be coddled and they want their egos stroked so bad, they don't care. They will take that validation from anybody. Number one. Number two, you guys keep on saying, we want a man to have a hard conversation with other men. They do. It's just not the way that you guys want it. Y'all want to sit down and have an intervention. A lot of guys don't do it like that. Hey bro, don't do that. Hey, quit doing that. Hey, that's not right. Hey, if you do that again, physical force. I'm not going to say exactly here on the platform, but physical force. And you get the message. If you don't, then these guys usually move around or else it's going to be problems. That's how they do it. They don't say, oh, let's go get tea. So I wanted to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Just because guys don't do it the way that you want them to do it doesn't mean it's not getting done. So I see Dante Kyle responded in the comments, and if you remember who Dante Kyle is, he was talking about, well, you know what? Let me see if I can find the clip.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated.
Mm.
And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
right?
You know, to look at women only through the lens of a sex desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman get you a good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women. The spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things. The knowing, the seeing, you know what I'm saying? Also too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black joy.
Oh yeah, that's
it's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
That's what it is.
Now, how often are women just having a good time, and here come a nigga trying to ruin their fun?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You can call it pandering, but if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering. Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering. Get your mind right. Use your cabeza.
So that's what he said in context, and I didn't leave anything out. But you just saw the clip where the woman was making fun of a man for dancing. And you had to get in the comments and say that's what he was supposed to be doing. Here's another clip of a woman trashing a man, John Cannon, who's on TikTok. Very big following on TikTok about his wife being white. And there's people in the comments talking about, oh, he's a janitor. Shaming him for his job description. But these are the type of women that you want us to protect and to, I don't know, be there for.
I just found out John Cannon is married to a white woman. Pack up the think pieces, y'all. That situation gonna handle itself.
Was talking to this guy who lived in Atlanta, and he had reached out to me one day and was just like, hey, like, I'm coming to your city, I would like to see you. So I was like, okay, cool, like, just let me know and we'll go from there. And so he came back and said, well, Birmingham is very boring. And so I was just like, ha 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 ha, like, we have a lot of new restaurants here, and a lot of new spots. So just pick somewhere and we'll go from there. This man came back and said, so you want me to find somewhere to do? You want me to find somewhere to go, something to do in your city? Got it. So I didn't respond because I'm not understanding what the issue is here. You guys, this man never said anything else to me. Never said anything else to me. Now, do I think I dodged the bullet? Absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, ladies, hear me out. Like, I'm not dogging men, but if a guy's trying to pursue you, and if he won't take the time to, like, look up a restaurant, he could have literally said any coffee shop in Birmingham. He could have said what is it called? Cheesecake Factory. And I would have been cool with that. Or I would have gave him like another suggestion or something. But he didn't even attempt to like use his noggin or his cell phone. That's the crazy part.
Let's read some of the comments. You were lazy. You could have suggested. You were lazy. You could have suggested some spots that you hadn't tried and let him take you. You were hustling. You were hustling backwards. I would have ghosted you too. Trisha says, no sis. No sis. I'm on his side here. It's your city. Choose a nice spot. If it was the other way, I'd expect the guy to choose the location since it's his area and not mine. Irene said, I always look at both sides, but in this case, I agree with him, especially since he called your city boring and you said they had a few spots. I would have picked somewhere new that I know is a good vibe. Victoria is basically saying the same thing. A lot of women in the comments holding her accountable, so I appreciate that.
I'm going to say this. I could be good for you.
How?
Huh?
How?
I could be understanding. I could be very supportive, very caring.
I got a boyfriend for that.
Okay,
though.
but I know
what
that.
What else can you do?
I know. I mean, come on now. You know. I'm not. Look here. I could be good for you. I just know that.
I don't know. What you name my boyfriend already do for me?
Unc, go back inside.
When it comes to intimacy, there are so many women that think they are above science. There are so many women that think they are above their DNA. And it's just always so funny to hear because they always in the comments like, no, like,
When I sleep with men, my mind, and I don't get attached, and I don't do this and I don't do that, and I'm just like, congratulations, you are now your biggest op. Congratulations, your body is now not in harmony. Congratulations, you're now not in alignment. Congratulations, that's not normal. I don't know why y'all think it's a flex to be able to separate the mind from the body from the spirit. I don't know why y'all believe that is a flex. I honestly just wish that y'all would just say the quiet part out loud. And the quiet part out loud is you hate men, you don't like men, you don't want nothing from them. You just don't hate them enough to stop sleeping with them. That's the truth. You just want to continue to sleep with them. You want to do it. Just say it. Just say it and stop trying to just say that you don't just say that you enjoy sleeping with men so bad that the mistreatment and all that is really not that serious. You just like to be performative for other women because y'all gotta sell to each other. The reality is a lot of you don't want to stop. You don't want to stop sleeping with them. And that's why you have to make excuses like, oh, my feelings don't be attached. I be treating men how they treat me and all this stuff that y'all think is so clever, and it's really not clever. You're really just being self-destructive. Mind you, if science tells us that stress can lead to autoimmune diseases, stress ain't even like, you can't even see what stress look like. Stress is just, it is a state of being. It's just a state of being. But y'all don't want to accept that sharing your body, submitting your body to somebody, allowing somebody to enter inside of you can't have the same effect. Very interesting. Very interesting.